Yes, Nina is going to extras for Let's Play. They love one another, and their two souls will unite tonight. And the same idea when said, the same idea by different meanings. There is no ground on which your soul and mine can meet. I love you. Too restless and sad to stay at home. I train here every day, 6 months in bed, only to be most difference. I am poor. My family is large. You have no right to marry a man who cannot provide sufficient food for his own mouth.
It is not that. I am touched by your affection, but cannot return it. That is all. Would you like one?
No, thank you.
The air is sultry. A storm is brewing tonight. You do nothing but moralize, but less talk about money. To you, poverty is the greatest misfortune that can befall a man, but I think it's 1,000 times easier to go begging around in rags than to... She wouldn't understand that, though.
You know, my boy, country life doesn't suit me, and I don't think I shall ever get used to it. Last night I went to bed at 10, got up this morning at 9, and from oversleep, I feel as though my brain had stuck to my skull. And then tonight, after dinner, I fell asleep accidentally, and now feel completely done up. It is like a nightmare.
There's no doubt. You should be living in town. My friends, you'll be called when the play begins, but you can't stay here. Will you please go?
Miss Masha, would you kindly ask your father to leave the dog unchained? It howled so last night that my sister was unable to sleep.
You're going to have to ask my father yourself. Please forgive me, I can't do so. Come, let us go.
You wanted someone to take in, right?
I foresee that dog howling again all night. It is always this way in the country. I can never live here as I like. I come down for a month's vacation to rest and all, and I'm so bugged by their nonsense that I'm ready to leave after the first day. I'm retired now, and the only place I had to come to is this place here, my own farm. Everybody has to live someplace.
Hey, boss. We're going to the lake for a swim.
All right, but be back in 10.
Totally tubular, man. Boss.
See, this is just like a real theater. There's the curtain, the foreground, the background. No artificial scenery is needed at all. The eye travels directly to the lake and it rests on the horizon. We'll open the curtain as the moon rises at 8:30.
Splendid.
Of course, the whole effect will be lost if Nina's late. Her father and stepmother keep her locked up so tight, it's like stealing her away from a prison to get her away from home. Your hair is all on end. You should have it trimmed.
Oh, they are the bane of my existence. Even when I was young, I always looked as if I were drunk and all. Women have never liked me. Tell me, why is my sister, your mother, so out of temper?
Why? Because she's jealous and bored. Nina's performing tonight, she's not. So she set herself against me and the performance of the play itself, which she hates without ever having read it.
Does she really?
Yes. Nina's gonna have success on this little stage tonight, she won't. You know my mother's a psychological curiosity? Without a doubt, brilliant, talented, capable of sobbing over a novel, of reciting all of Shakespeare by heart. You should see what happens if anyone begins praising Meryl Streep to her. Her performance of The Two Gentlemen of Verona should be extolled to the skies. She can't get any of that trash out here in the country, so she grows angry and irritated, and she thinks we're all to blame for it. You know, she's superstitious too. She dreads burning 3 candles, and she fears the 13th day of the month. And she's stingy. I know for a fact that she has $7 million in that bank in Odessa, but if you ask for a single cent, she bursts into tears.
You have got it into your head that your mother dislikes your play, and she's against you. But relax, she loves you.
She loves me not. Loves me not. Loves me not, and why should she? She likes life and love and vibrant clothes, and I'm already 25. A sufficient reminder that she's already old. When I'm gone, she's 32. When I'm here, she's 43, and she hates me for it. She knows, too, that I hate the modern theater, but she loves it and pretends that she's acting on it for the benefit of humanity and her sacred art. When the curtain rises on that little 3-walled room, when those playwrights, those high priests of art, show us people in the acts of loving, eating, drinking, walking, and wearing their coats, and attempt to extract some moral from their stupid talk, when playwrights under 1,000 different disguises give us that same old stuff. I needs must run from it, like Maupassant ran from the Eiffel Tower that was about to crush him by its vulgarity.
But we can't do without theater.
No, but we should have it under a new form, or else we shouldn't have it at all. I love my mother, I do, but I think she leads a stupid life. This man of letters is always on her mind, and the newspapers are always frightening her to death. Sometimes plain human egoism speaks in my heart, and I regret my mother's a famous actress. I think if she were a normal woman, I'd be a happier man. What's more foolish than my position, uncle, when I find myself the only non-entity amongst her crowd of guests, all these celebrated authors and artists, I feel like they only tolerate me because I'm their son. Personally, I'm nothing, nobody. I passed through my third year of college by the skin of my teeth, as some may say. I have neither money nor brains, and on my passport it may just say that I'm simply a citizen of Kiev. Well, same with my father, but he was a well-known actor. When the guests that frequent my mother's drawing room fail to notice me at all, I know they only look at me to measure our indifference. I read their thoughts and I suffer from their humiliation.
By the way, what is Trigorin like? I can't understand him. He is always so silent.
Trigorin is clever, simple, well-mannered, and might I say a little melancholic in disposition. Though under 40, he's filled with praise, and as for his stories, they're, how can I put it, pleasing, full of talent, but if you read Tolstoy or Zola, you somehow don't like Trigorin.
You know, the last time I was thinking about authors, I remember that I once passionately desired two things: to marry and to become an author. I have succeeded at neither. It must be pleasant to be even an insignificant author.
I hear footsteps. Oh, even the sound of her footsteps makes me happy. I'm madly in love. My enchantress, my rubber, my dreams, you've arrived.
Oh, it can't be that I'm late. No, I'm not late.
No.
I've been in a fever all day. I was so afraid my father would forbid my coming, but he and my stepmother have just gone driving. Sky is clear, the moon is rising. How I hurry to get here. How I urge my horse to go faster and faster, and oh, I'm just so happy to see you.
Oh, your eyes look as though you've been crying. You mustn't do that.
Oh, it's nothing. Please, let us hurry. I must go in a half hour. No, for heaven's sakes, please, don't urge me to stay. My father doesn't know I'm here.
In fact, we were just about to begin. I'll call everyone now.
Let me call them in all. I was on my way anyway. Two grenadiers from France, returned from Russian captivity. You know, I was singing that song once, and a fellow lawyer said to me, "Sir, you have a powerful voice." And then he smiled and added, "But it is a disagreeable one."
Oh. My father and his wife would never let me come here. They call this place Bohemia, and they fear I'll become an actress. But this lake attracts me as it does the gulls. My heart is full of you.
We're alone.
Isn't that someone over there?
No.
What's that tree over there?
It's a no.
Why does it look so dark?
It's nighttime. Everything's dark. Please don't go early. I'm begging you. What if I follow you home? I'll stand in your garden with my eyes on your window?
See, that would be impossible. Treasure's not used to you yet and would bark, that stupid crusty thing.
I love you.
Hush.
Is that you, Jacob?
Yes, sir.
Well, to your place is the place about to begin.
Yes, sir.
Is the alcohol ready?
Yep.
Is the sulfur ready? There must be fumes of sulfur when the red light shines.
Of course.
Go, everything's ready. Are you nervous?
Yes, very. I'm not so much afraid of your mother as I am of Trigorin. I'm terrified and ashamed to act before him. He's so famous. Is he young?
Yes.
What beautiful stories he writes.
I don't know. I haven't read any of them. Can't say.
You know, your play is very hard to act in. There's no living characters.
Living characters, life should be represented not as it is, but as it ought to be, like it appears in dreams.
Well, there is so little action. It feels more like a recitation. I think love should come into every play.
It's getting there. Go back and learn to wash.
I am quite warm.
You will never take care of yourself. You're quite obstinate about it. Yet you are a doctor and you quite love that grandparents bad for you. You like to see me suffer. That's what it is. You tried to tear us all yesterday, even on purpose.
Oh, tell me 25 years old.
A trifle. That is not old for a man. He's kept your looks magnificent, and women still like you.
What are you trying to tell me?
You men are all ready to go down on your knees to an actress. All of you.
Once more I stand before thee. It's only right that artists should be made much of by society and treated differently from, let's say, salesmen. It's a kind of idealism.
So when women have loved you and thrown themselves at your head, has that been idealism?
I can't say. There has been a great deal that was admirable in my relations with women. In me, they liked, above all, the superior doctor. 10 years ago, you remember, I was the only decent doctor they had in this part of the country. And then, I've always acted like a man of honor.
Dear.
Oh, be quiet. Here they come.
She acted most beautifully at the Baltava Fair in 1993. She really was magnificent. But tell me too where Chadha the comedian is now. He was a minimalist rascal, better than Sadovsky. Where is he?
Don't ask me about the antediluvians. I know nothing about them.
Hashka, Chadha, there are none left like him. The stage is not what it was in his time. There were sturdy oaks growing on it then, where now but stumps remain.
It is true that we have few dazzling geniuses these days, but on the other hand, the average of acting is much higher.
I cannot agree with you, however, that is a matter of taste. Dig Gustavus.
When will the play begin, my dear boy?
In a minute, please be patient.
My son, thou hast turned my eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black green spots that do not leave their taint.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. The play is about to begin. O ye time-honored, ancient traditions that drive across the surface of this lake, blind our eyes with sleep and show us what will be in twice 10,000 years.
There won't be anything in twice 10,000 years.
Then let them show us that nothingness.
Yes, let them. We are asleep.
All men and beasts, lions, eagles, quails, horned stags, geese, spiders, silent fish that inhabit the waves, starfish of the sea, and creatures invisible to the eye. In one word, life. All life, completing the dreary round imposed upon it, has died out at last. 1,000 years have passed since the earth last bore a living creature upon her breast, and now the unhappy moon lights her lamp in vain. No longer are the cries of storks heard in the meadows, or the drone of beetles in the groves of limes. All is cold, cold, cold. All is void, void, void. All is terrible.
The bodies.
The bodies of all living creatures have dropped to dust, and eternal matter has transformed them into stones and clouds and water. But their spirits have all flowed together into one, and that one great world soul am I. In me is the spirit of great Alexander, the spirit of Napoleon, of Caesar, of Shakespeare, and of the tiniest leech that swims. In me, the consciousness of man has joined hands with the instinct of the animal, and each
kept from me in my fierce and obstinate battle with Satan. In my fierce and obstinate battle with Satan, the source of the forces of matter, I am destined to be victorious in the end. Matter and spirits will become one at last, and the reign of freedom will begin on earth. But this can only come to pass in slow degrees, where the moon and shining Sirius and the earth will fall to dust, and until that hour, oh horror, horror, horror!
I smell sulfur. Is that done on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, I see it.
Pardon your face.
Mom!
He longs for man and
Yes, the doctor has taken off his hat to Satan, the eternal father of matter.
That's it. Close the curtain.
What is the matter with you?
Close the curtain. That's it. I'm sorry. I forgot that only a chosen few might write plays or act in them. I must have infringed on the monopoly.
What is the matter with him?
You should not handle youthful egoism so roughly, sister.
What did I say to him?
You hurt his feelings.
But he told me himself that this was all in fun, so I treated his play as if it were a comedy.
Nevertheless,
Now, it appears he has produced a masterpiece, if you please, and in doing so, he fumigated us with sulfur to show us what is worth performing and acting. I'm tired of him. Constant thrusts and sallies. He is nothing but an egotistical, willful boy.
he had hoped to give you pleasure.
Oh, is that so? Well, I noticed that he did not paint an ordinary play, but forced his trash onto us. I'm willing to listen to any raving as long as it is not meant seriously. He pretended to be showing a new form of art, an inaugurating era. Honestly, there was nothing new about it. It was just a bad exhibit of temper.
Everybody must write as he feels, or as best he may.
Yes, let him, but let him spare me his nonsense.
Thou art angry, oh Jove.
I am a woman, not Job, and I am not angry. I'm just sad to see a boy wasting his talents.
No one has any grounds for separating life and matter, as the spirit may well possess material atoms. Trevor, someday you should write a play, put on the stage the life of a schoolmaster.
Yes, but let's not talk about plays or atoms. The night is still young. Listen to the friends singing. How sweet it sounds.
yes, they're sitting close to the water.
Come. About 10 to 15 years ago, there was music and laughter on this lake almost every night. 6 houses on its shores. And there was such music and romance. Such romance. And the idol star himself sits beside you, Dr. Eugene Dorn. He is fascinating now, but he was irresistible then. Oh, my conscience is beginning to prick me. Why did I hurt my poor boy? Constantine! Constantine!
Shall I go and find him?
If you please, my dear.
Mr. Constantine! Mr. Constantine! Well, I guess the play will never be finished, so I can go home now. Have a good evening.
Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo! We were quite charmed by your looks and your acting. It is a crime for you to hide yourself in the country. It is your duty to go on stage, you hear me?
It's the dream of my life, which will never come true.
Who knows? Perhaps it will. But let me introduce you to Monsieur Boris Chaborin.
I'm pleased to meet you. I've read all your books.
Don't be afraid of him, dear. He has a very kind soul. He is embarrassed himself, even if he is a celebrity.
Couldn't the curtain be opened now? It's depressing to have it drawn.
Jacob, my man, raise the curtain.
It was a curious play, wasn't it?
Very. I couldn't understand it one bit. I watched with the greatest pleasure because you acted with such sincerity and the setting is beautiful. Ooh, supposed to be a lot of fishing that way.
Oh, yes, there are.
I love fishing. I can't think of anything pleasanter than to sit on the lake shore in an evening with one's eyes on a floating cork.
Why,
Moscow. How delighted we all were when he took the low C. Well, you can imagine our astonishment when one of the church cantors, who happened to be sitting in the gallery, boomed out, "Bravo, Silva!" A whole octave lower like this. "Bravo, Silva!" The audience was left breathless.
An angel of silence is flying above our heads.
It's getting late. I must go. Where to? Why must you go so early? I shouldn't allow it. Father is waiting for me. Evil man. If you have to leave, you must. But it'll be really hard to let you go. When you knew how hard it was for me to leave you. Somebody must see you home, my pet. No.
Don't go.
I must.
Stay just 1 hour more and all. Really, you know.
No, I can't. An unlucky girl. They say her mother left her father a whole immense fortune, but the child is penniless because the father already moved away to his second wife. It is pitiful.
Yes, her father's a perfect beast. And I don't mind saying so. It's what he deserves.
Let us go in. The air is damp and my legs are aching.
You have acted as if they have turned to stone. Come on, you unfortunate old man.
Shall we go, Paulina?
I hear that dog howling again. Won't you please leave it unchanged, Jean-Layette?
I'm sorry, sir, I can't. The granary is full of millet, and I'm afraid thieves might break it if the dog were not there. Yes, a whole octave lower. Bravo, Silva. And he wasn't a singer either, just a simple church cantor.
What's telling the church being singers?
I may have lost my judgment and my wits, but I must confess, I liked that play. There was something in it. When the girl spoke of her solitude and the devil's eyes gleamed across the lake, I felt my hands shaking with excitement. It was so fresh and naive. But here he comes. Let me say something pleasant to him.
All gone already?
I am here.
Masha's been yelling for me all over the park. Insufferable creature.
Constantine, your play delighted me. It was strange, of course, and I didn't hear the end, but it made a deep impression on me. You have a great deal of talent and must persevere in your work. Oh, now calm down, Constantine. Your eyes are full of tears. Listen to me. You chose your subject in the realm of abstract thought, and you did quite right. A work of art should invariably embody some lofty idea. Only that is truly meant can ever be beautiful. How pale you are.
So you advise me to persevere?
Yes, but use your talents to express only deep and eternal truths. I have led a quiet life, as you know, and am a contented man. But if I should ever experience the exaltation that an artist feels upon his moments of creation, I believe I should spurn this material envelope of my soul and everything connected with it, and should soar to heights above this earth.
I'm sorry, but where's Nina?
Oh, and yet another thing. Every work of art should have a definite object in view. You should know why you're writing. For if you follow the road of art without a definite goal in mind, you will lose yourself, and your genius will be your ruin.
Where's Nina?
She has gone home.
Gone home. I should follow her. I will.
Oh, my dear boy, calm down.
I'm going. I must go.
Your mother wants you to come in, Mr. Constantine. She is waiting for you and is very uneasy.
Tell her I'm going away, and for Christ's sake, all of you, leave me alone. Stop following me about.
Oh, come on now, don't act like that. It's not kind at all.
Goodbye, Doctor. Thank you.
Youth. Youth.
It is always youth, when there's nothing else to be said.
Oh, don't do that. This is horrid. I hear music in the house. I must go in.
Wait a moment.
What do you want?
Let me tell you again. I feel like talking. I do not love my father, but my heart turns to you. For some reason, I feel you are near to me. Help me, or I should do something foolish and mock at my life and ruin it. I'm at the end of my strength.
What is the matter?
I am in agony. No one can imagine how I suffer. I love Constantine.
Oh, how excitable you all are, and how much love there is in this lake of spells. But what can I do for you, my child? What? What?
Come, stand beside me. You are 20-something, and I am almost twice your age. Tell me, doctor, which one of us is younger looking?
You are, of course.
You see, now why is that? Because I work. My heart and my mind are always busy, whereas you never move off the same spot. It is a maxim of mine to never think about old age or death, and just accept it when it comes to me.
I feel as if I've been in the world 1,000 years and trail my life behind me like an endless scarf. Often I have no desire to live at all, but of course, that is foolish. One must pull oneself together and shake off such nonsense.
Tell her, old flowers.
And I keep myself as correct looking as an Englishman. As the saying is, carefully dressed with my hair neatly arranged. Do you think I should ever permit to leave the house in a messy bun and sweatpants? No! Absolutely not. I would never let myself slump like some women do. See me tripping over myself like a 16-year-old girl. Oh.
I see. Nevertheless, I shall continue my reading. We had come to the grain dealer and the rats.
And the rats, go on. No, it is my turn to read. And the rats. Here it is. It is as dangerous for society to indulge in authors as it is for grain dealers to raise rats in their granaries. However, society loves authors. So when a woman who has found one whom she wishes to make her own, she indulges and lays siege to him. That may be so in France, but certainly not so in Russia. Usually a woman is head over heels in love before she attempts to lay siege. You have an example before your eyes. And me and Chekhov.
So, we are happy now, eh? We are enjoying ourselves today, are we? Father and stepmother have gone away to Tver, and we are free for 3 whole days.
I'm so happy. I belong to you now.
She looks lovely today.
Yes, she has put on her prettiest dress and looks sweet, but we shouldn't compliment her. We shall spoil her.
What are you reading?
On the Water by Maupassant, but that's neither true nor interesting. Tell me, I am uneasy about my son. What is the matter with him? I barely see him anymore. He spends all his days on the lake.
His heart is heavy. Please recite something from his play. Shall I? Is it that interesting? When he recites, his eyes shine and his face grows pale. His voice is soft and beautiful, and he has the ways of a poet.
Sweet dreams.
Peter,
Eh?
are you asleep?
Not a bit of it.
You really ought to do something for your health, brother.
The idea of doing anything for one's health at 65.
One still wants to live at 65.
Oh, drink some tea.
Maybe a trip to a watering hole could be good for him.
Why, yes, he might as well go.
You don't understand.
There is nothing to understand in this case. It is quite clear.
You ought to quit smoking.
Oh, what nonsense.
No, that is not nonsense. Wine and tobacco destroy individuality. After a cigar or a glass of vodka, you are no longer Peter Sorin, but Peter Sorin plus somebody else. Your ego breaks breaks in two. You begin to think of yourself in the third person.
It is easy for you to condemn smoking and drinking. You have known what life is. But what about me? I have served in the Department of Justice for 28 years, but I have never lived. I have never had any experiences. You are satiated with life, and therefore you have an inclination for philosophy. But I want to live, and that is why I smoke cigars and drink wine at dinner and all.
One must take life seriously, and to take a cure at 65 and regret not having had more pleasure in youth is, forgive my saying so, trifling.
It must be lunchtime. My foot has gone to sleep.
She is going to have a couple of drinks before lunch.
The poor soul is unhappy.
That is a trifle, Your Honor.
You judge her like a man who has obtained all he wants in life.
Oh, what could be duller than this dear tedium of a country? The night is so young, and yet all you do is sit here and philosophize about life. I enjoy listening to you here, friends, but I'd much rather be learning a role by heart in the room of a hotel. You're quite right. I understand how you feel.
Of course it is pleasanter to live in town. One can sit in one's library with a phone at one's elbow. No one comes in unless he is announced by the footman. The streets are full of cabs and all.
Tell her, old flowers.
Here they are. How do you do? I'm delighted to see you looking so well. My wife tells me you mean to go to town with her today. Is that so?
That is what I had planned to do.
That is splendid, but how do you intend on getting there? We're hauling rye today and all the men are busy. What horses would you take?
What horses would I take? How do I know what horses we shall have?
Why, we have the carriage horses.
The carriage horses? And how do you suppose I get the harness for them? This is astonishing. My dear madam, I have the greatest respect for your talents and would gladly sacrifice 10 years of my life for you, but I cannot let you have any horses today.
But if I must go to town, what an extraordinary state of affairs!
You do not know what it is to run a farm, madam.
You sound like a broken record. I shall go back to Moscow this very day. You call me a cab, or I'll walk to the station on foot.
Under these circumstances, I resign my position. You must find yourself a new manager.
It is like this every summer. Every summer, I am insulted here. I shall never set foot here again.
What does he mean by his impudence? I want all the horses brought here at once.
How can he refuse anything to Madame Arcana, the famous actress? Is not every wish of hers more important than some double farm work? This is terrible.
What can I do about it? Put yourself in my place and tell me what can I do.
Oh, let us all go find my sister and persuade her not to go. That man is insufferable, a regular tyrant.
Sit still, and let us wheel you. This is terrible.
Yes, it is terrible, but he won't leave. I shall have a talk with him in a minute.
How tiresome people are. Your husband deserves to be thrown out of here, but this old Granny Soren and his sister will beg his pardon. See if they don't.
He sends the carriage horses into the fields today, too. Misunderstandings like these occur every day. If only you knew how much they irritate me. I'm ill. I'm trembling all over. I cannot endure his rough ways. Eugene, my darling, my beloved, take me to you. Our time is short and we are no longer young. Let us end deception and concealment, even though we are only at the end of our lives.
I am 55 years old. It's too late for me now to change my ways of living.
I know that you refuse me because there are other women who are dear to you and you cannot take everybody. I understand. Excuse me, I see I'm only bothering.
No, it's all right.
I'm tortured by jealousy. Of course, you're a doctor and cannot escape me. I understand.
How are things in there?
Oh, Madame Arcana is crying, and Soren's having an asthma attack.
Let us both go and give them some chamomile tea.
I picked these flowers for you.
Oh, thank you.
Pretty flowers.
themselves on it by dazzling it with the inextinguishable honor of their glory and fame. And yet, here I see them weeping and playing cards and flying into passions just like everybody else.
Are you alone?
Yes? What do you mean by this?
I was basing up today to kill the skull. I laid at your feet.
What is happening to you?
So soon shall I end my own life.
You have changed so much recently that I fail to recognize you.
You've changed since I failed to recognize you. Your look is cold. You don't like to have me near you.
You have grown so irritable lately. You talk so darkly and symbolically that you must forgive me if I fail to follow you.
All this began when my play failed so miserably. A woman can never forgive failure. I burnt the manuscript to the last page. Oh, can only fathom my unhappiness. You're a stranger to me. It's terrible. It's incredible. It's if I suddenly woke one morning to find this entire lake dried up and sunk into the earth. You say you're too simple to understand me? But what is there to understand? And that understanding is to me like a dagger to the brain. May it be accursed with my stupidity, which sucks my lifeblood like a snake? Oh, there comes real genius striding along like another Hamlet with a book too. Words, words, words. You look at that sun, you smile, your eyes glow liquid in its rays, and I won't disturb you.
Smokes cigarettes and drinks vodka, always wears black, in love with a school teacher.
How do you do?
How are you, Miss Nina? Oh, to an unforeseen development of circumstances, it seems we shall be leaving here today. You and I will likely never see each other again. And I'm sorry for it. It is seldom now that I meet such a young and pretty girl, and I hardly remember how it feels to be 19. And the young girls in my novels are seldom-looking characters. I should like to change places with you, if just for an hour. Look out at the world through your eyes and see what sort of little person you are.
And I should like to change places with you too.
Why?
To see how a famous genius feels. What is it like to be famous? What sensations does it give you?
What sensations? I suppose it doesn't give any. Either you exaggerate my fame, or else it even exists. All I can say is one simply doesn't feel fame in any way.
But when you read about yourself in the papers?
If the critics praise me, I'm happy. They condemn me, I'm out of sorts the next couple of days.
This is a wonderful world. If only you knew how much I envy you. Men are born into two different destinies. Some dully drag a weary, useless life behind them, lost in the crowd, unhappy. Whereas one out of a million, as to you, for instance, comes a bright destiny, full of purpose and meaning. You're lucky.
I? Lucky? I hear you talking about fame and happiness and bright destinies. And those fine words of yours mean as much to me as, and excuse my saying this, as much as Katie's do, which I never read. You're very young and very kind.
Your life is beautiful.
I see nothing especially lovely about it. Excuse me, I'm in a hurry. I must go and begin writing again. Look what you've done. You've awakened the monsters this end, getting a little excited and a bit giddy. So let us discuss this bright and beautiful life of mine. Though, violent obsessions are sometimes known to take hold of a man. He may, for instance, stay awake day and night thinking of nothing but the moon. I too have such a mood. Day and night I am held in the grip of one besetting thought, to write, write, write. Hardly have I finished one story before something urges me to write another, and then a third, and then a fourth. I write ceaselessly. I am, as it were, on a treadmill. Forever I hurry from one story to another, and I can't help myself. Do you see anything bright and beautiful in that? Oh, it is a wild life. Even now, as full as I am here by talking to you, I do not forget for an instant that an unfinished story is awaiting me. My eyes fall on that cloud over there, floating by, which has the shape of a grand piano. Instantly, I must make a mental note that I must remember to mention in my story a cloud which has the shape of a grand piano. I smell heliotrope, a sickly smell, I mutter to myself, the color worn by widows. I must remember that in writing my next description of a summer evening. In every sentence of yours or of my own, I hope to catch an idea, and I lock these treasures away in my literary storeroom, thinking that someday they might be useful to me. As soon as I stop writing, I rush off to the theater, or go fishing, in hopes I might find oblivion there. But no. Some new idea for a story is bound to come rolling through my brain like an iron cannonball. I hear my desk call. I must go back to it, begin to write, write, write once more. And so it goes for everlasting. I cannot escape myself, though I feel I'm consuming my own life. To prepare the honey I feed to unknown crowds, I am doomed to brush the bloom from my dearest flowers, tear them up by their stems, and trample the roots that bore them out underfoot. Am I not a madman? Should I not be viewed by those that know me as one mentally diseased? Yet it is always the same old story, till I begin to think that all this praise and admiration is deception, that I'm being hoodwinked because they know I'm crazy. And sometimes I tremble, lest I be grabbed from behind and whisked off to a lunatic asylum. The best years of my youth were made one continual agony for me by my writing. A young author, especially if at first he does not find success, often feels clumsy, ill at ease, and superfluous in this world. His nerves are all on edge and stretched to the point of breaking. He is irresistibly drawn to literary and artistic types, and he hovers around them, unknown and unnoticed, fearing to look them bravely in the eye, like a man with a passion for gambling whose money's all gone. I did not know my readers, but for some reason I imagined they'd be distrustful and unfriendly. I was mortally afraid of the public. When my first play appeared, it seemed to me that all the dark eyes in the audience were looking at me with enmity, and all the blue ones with cold indifference. How terrible it was. What agony.
But don't your inspiration and the act of creation give you moments of lofty happiness?
Yes, writing is a pleasure to me, and so is reading the proofs. But no sooner does a book leave the press than it becomes odious to me. It's not what I meant it to be. It was a mistake for me to write it at all. I'm provoked and discouraged. And then the public reads it, and they say, yes, it is clever and pretty, but not nearly as good as Tolstoy. Or, it is a lovely thing, but not as good as Turgenev's Fathers and Sons. And so I'll always be, till my dying day out here, clever and pretty, and nothing more. And when I'm gone, those that knew me will say as they pass my grave, here lies Trigorin, a clever writer, but not nearly as good as Turgenev.
You must excuse me, but I don't know what you're talking about. The fact is, you've been spoiled by your success.
What success have I had? As a writer, I do not like myself. I've never pleased myself. The trouble is, I am, as it were, made giddy by the fumes of my own brain, and often I hardly even know what I'm writing about. I love this lake, these trees, the blue heavens. Nature's voice speaks to me and awakens a feeling of passion in my heart, and I am overcome by an uncontrollable desire to write. But I'm not only a painter of landscapes. I'm a man of the city besides. I love my country and her people too. I feel that as a writer, it is my duty to speak of their sorrows and also of their future, and of science and the rights of man, and so forth. So I write on every subject, and the public hounds me on all sides, sometimes in anger. So I dodge and race like a fox with a pack of dogs in his trail. I see life and knowledge flitting away before me. I'm left behind them like a peasant who's missed his train at a station. And finally, I'm brought back to the conclusion that all I'm really fit for is to describe landscapes. And anything else I attempt proves terribly false.
You work too hard to realize the importance of your writings. So what if you're discontented with yourself? If I was a writer like you, I would devote my entire life to the service of the Russian people, knowing at the same time that their welfare depended on their power to rise to the heights that I had attained. And the people would send forth for me in a chariot of triumph.
A chariot? What do you think, I'm bagging them now?
For the bliss of being a writer or an actress, I could endure want or disillusionment, the hatred of my friends or the pangs of my own dissatisfaction. But in return, I got fame. Real, resounding fame. Woo! Woo! My head reels.
She's calling for me. I'll become a cat. I don't want to leave this place. What a blessing such beauty is.
Do you see that house over on the far shore?
Mm-hmm.
That's my dead mother's home. I was born there, and I've lived my whole life on the shores of this lake, and I know every little island on it.
A beautiful place to live. Oh, hey, what's that?
A gull. Constantine shot it.
Huh, what a lovely bird. Really, I mean, I can't bear to leave this place. Can't you persuade Aaron to let us stay just one more day?
What are you writing?
Oh, nothing much. Just an idea for a short story. A young girl grows up on the shores of the lake, as you have. She loves it there, as the gulls do, and is happy and free as they. But But then a man sees her chances to come that way, and he destroys her out of violence, as this skull here has been destroyed.
Boris, where are you?
I'm coming right this minute! And what do you want?
We are not going away after all. It's a dream!
I'm telling you these things because you write books, and they may be useful to you. I tell you I should not have lived another day if he'd wounded himself fatally, but I am courageous. I shall tear this love of mine out by the roots.
And how will you do it?
By marrying Medvedenko.
The school teacher?
Yes,
I hardly see the necessity in that.
if only you knew what it was like to love without hope for years and years, to wait for something that will never come. I shall not marry for love, but marriage will be a change to set in the memories of the past. Shall we have another drink?
Haven't you had enough?
Nonsense. Don't look at me with that expression on your face. Women drink more often than you think, but most do it in secret, not as openly as I do. When they do indeed, it is always either vodka or brandy. To your good health. You are so easy to get along with, and I'm sorry to see you go.
And I'm sorry to leave.
You should ask her to stay.
Should not do that now. Her son is behaving outrageously. First he attempts suicide, and now he he's going to challenge me to a duel. Though what his provocation may be, I can't imagine. He's always sulking and sneering and preaching about some new form of art, as if the field of art isn't large enough to accommodate both the new and the old without the necessity of jostling.
It is jealousy. However, that is none of my business. That school teacher of mine is none too clever, but he is a good, poor man, and he loves me dearly. I feel sorry for him. Well, let me wish you a pleasant journey. Thanks for your goodwill, and keep me kindly in your thoughts. Send me your books, write a note in them, but nothing formal. Simply this: to Masha, who, forgetful of her origin, for some unknown reason, is living in this world. Goodbye.
Is it odd or even?
Even.
No, it's odd. I only had one googly eye in my hand. I was deciding whether or not I should be a famous actress. If only I had someone to advise me as to what to do in this situation.
I cannot offer advice in such matters.
We shall soon part, perhaps never see each other again. I would like you to take this little medallion as a little remembrance of me. Ooh, on it, I have your initials engraved on it, and on the back is the name of one of your books, Days and Nights.
How sweet of you. It is a lovely present.
Think of me sometimes?
I'll never forget you. I'll always remember as I saw you that day. Do you remember? That bright day when you wore your light dress, and we sat and talked while the Seagull lay on the bench beside us?
Oh, the Seagull. Please, let me see you for just 2 more minutes. Before you go. You must stay here, you unfortunate old man. How would you visit with that rheumatism of yours? Oh, was someone here just now? Was it Mina?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid we've interrupted you.
Page 121, lines 11 and 12.
Sir, would you like us to pack your fishing rods?
Yes, I will be needing them. But you can give my books away.
Yes, sir.
Everything is packed and I'm absolutely exhausted.
Page 121, lines 11 and 12. Oh, have my books here in the house.
Yes, they're in my brother's library, corner cupboard.
Page 121, lines 11.
You are going away I'm so tired of lying here like an old stump. I've ordered a cab for 1 o'clock. You and I can go away together.
No, you must stay here. Don't be lonely and don't catch a cold. Please guide my boy down the proper paths. I am going away, and so shall never find out why Constantine shot himself, but I think the pure reason was jealousy. And the sooner I take Chikor away, the better.
There were, how shall I explain it to you, reasons other than jealousy for his act. Here's a clever young man living in the depths of the country, with no money or position, with no future ahead of him, and with nothing to do. He is ashamed and afraid of being so idle. I am devoted to him, and he is fond of me, but he nevertheless thinks of himself as useless here, and he is little more than a dependent in this house. It is the pride in him.
He is a disappointment to me. One would hope he would enlist in the army.
Oh, I think the best thing for him would be if you were to let him have a little money. For one thing, he deserves to dress like a human being. See how he looks, running around in that same little old coat that he's had for 3 years, and he doesn't even possess an overcoat. It wouldn't be a bad idea for him to sow a few wild oats. Let him go abroad for a time. It wouldn't cost much.
No, I couldn't even think about his clothes now, nor would I let him go abroad. Heck, I can't even manage about his clothes now. I have no money. I really haven't the money.
Very well. Forgive me, darling. Don't be angry. You are a noble, generous woman.
I really haven't the money.
Of course, if I had money, I would let him have some. But the farm manager takes my pension and puts it all into the farm, or into cattle, or bees. And in that way, the money is gone forever. The bees die, the cows die. They never let me have a horse.
Of course, I have some money, but I'm an actress. This dress alone is enough to bankrupt me.
You are a dear, and I'm very fond of you. Truly I am. But there is something the matter with me. I feel giddy. I feel faint and all.
Peter! Help! Help! He has fainted!
I'm all right. It is all over now.
Don't be frightened, Mother. My uncle often has his attacks. You need to go and lie down, Uncle.
Yes, I think I will go lie down for a while. I'm going to Moscow all the same, but I think I shall lie down a bit before I go.
Do you notice that on 4 in the morning, on 2 late at noon, and on 3 in the evening?
Yes, and on one's back at night. Exactly. Oh, it's all right. I can walk alone.
Dear me, who would walk out?
He gave me a dreadful fright.
It's not good for him to be living out here. If you would just untie your purse strings and give him $1,000, he can spend a whole year in town.
I am an actress, not a banker.
Please just change my bandage for me, Mother. You're doing so well.
The doctor is late.
Yes, he said he'd be here at 9 and it's noon already.
Promise me that when I'm gone, you won't be up to any more of these silly tricks. You promise?
Yes, Mother. I did it in some insane moment of despair when I lost all hope of myself. Your touch is golden, you know that? I remember when I was still a little boy and you were acting in the State Theater, there was a fight in our court one day and this poor washerwoman was almost beaten to death. Well, you took her in and you nursed her till she was well and you even bathed her kids in the wash tubs. Have you forgotten all about it?
Yes, I have.
2 ballet dancers used to live in the same house and you would invite them over for coffee.
I remember that.
They were very pious. I think I love you again. As tenderly as I did when I was a child, I've no one left for me now but you, I see that. Why? Why do you let yourself be controlled by that man?
That's nonsense. He has a wonderfully noble personality.
Yet when I challenge him to a duel, his personality doesn't prevent him from playing the coward. He's about to beat a stupid retreat.
That's nonsense. I have invited him there myself.
I A noble personality indeed. Here we are almost fighting over him while he's probably in the garden laughing at us or else enlightening his mind into thinking that he's some sort of man of genius.
You enjoy saying unpleasant things to me, but I ask you not to speak ill of him in my presence. I have the greatest respect for that man.
You want me to think of him as some kind of genius? I can't lie, his books make me sick.
You envy him. There's nothing left for people with no talent except to hate on the people who are very talented, and I hope you enjoy the consolation it brings.
Those who are very talented indeed. I'm smarter than any of you if it comes to that. You're the slaves of convention. Now you seize the upper hand and you lay down his law, everything you hold near and dear. All else you strangle and you trample on. I refuse to accept your point of view. Yours and his I refuse.
That is talk of an idiot.
Go back to the stage and act in those shitty plays you love so much.
You can write the shittiest student play if you wanted to.
Bitch!
Baxter! Don't cry. Please don't cry. Please forgive your wicked mother.
If only you know what it's like to have lost everything under heaven. I'll never be able to write again, and she'll never love me. I see that now.
It is okay. We have made peace. She will love you once more, and he is going away.
Yes, Mother.
Promise me that you will not fight with him, please.
I won't, but you can't insist on my seeing him again. Here he comes. I'm leaving.
Page 121, lines 11 to 12. Here it is. At any time you should have need of my life, come and take it.
The cab will be here soon.
If at any time you should have need of my life, come and take it.
I hope your things are packed.
Yes, yes. Why do I hear a note of sadness, this cry of a pure soul that wrings my heart? If at any time you should have need of my life, come and take it. Let us stay, just one more day. Do let us stay.
No, I know what keeps you here, dearest, but you must sober up. You have intoxicated yourself with your emotions a little.
You too must be sober. Be sensible. Look upon what was happening to me as a true friend. You are capable of self-sacrifice. Be a friend to me and release me.
Are you so much in love?
Irresistibly impelled towards her. Perhaps it's just the thing I need.
What? The love of a country girl? Oh, how little you know yourself.
People are sometimes known to walk in their sleep, and so I feel as if I were asleep, dreaming of her while I'm standing here talking to you. My imagination is shaken by the sweetest and most glorious visions. Release me.
No, I am only ordinary woman. You must not say those things to me. Oh, you frighten me, Boris.
You could be an extraordinary woman, if only you would. Love alone can bring happiness on earth. Love the enchanting, the poetical love of youth that washes away the sorrows of the world. I had no time for it when I was young and struggling with want. But now, at last, this love has come to me. I hear it beckoning. Why shouldn't I?
You are mad.
Release me.
You have all conspired against me today.
Can't understand me. She won't understand me.
Am I so old and ugly that you can talk to me about another woman with no regrets? Ah, your love is the last chapter of my life. Oh, if you were to go for just an hour, oh, I would go mad. Mad!
So when am I come in?
Let them! I am not ashamed of my love, my joy, my despair. You want to do something stupid, but I don't want you to. I shouldn't let you. You are the mother of the century. You can write a woman, a landscape, in just one line. Look at me in the eyes. Are these the eyes of someone who is not telling the truth? Please, please come with me. You will? Say you will!
I have no will of my own. Never had. I'm too indolent, too submissive, too phlegmatic to have any. Is it possible that women like that? Take me away with you, but don't let me stir a step from your side.
He is mine now. But I guess you have to go. You can follow in a week's time.
Let us go together.
Yes, let us go together, as you wish. What are you writing?
Just a happy phrase I heard this morning. A grove of maiden pines. It may come in use later. So we really are off again, huh? Condemned once more to railway carriages and stations and restaurants, to hamburgers and endless arguments.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to have to inform you that your carriage is at the door. It is time to start, madam. The train leaves at 2:05. Would you be so kind to remember to inquire for me where Suzel's the actor is now? Is he alive, I wonder? Is he well? He and I have had many a jolly time together. He was amenable to the stolen mail. A Tragedian named Ismailov, who was in the same company I remember, was also quite remarkable. Don't hurry, madam. You still have 5 minutes. They were both of them conspirators once in the same melodrama. And one night, when in the course of the play, instead of saying, "We have been trapped," Ismailov cried out, "We have been wrapped." Wrapped.
These mountains for the journey today are very sweet ones, and they would take the good people on the way.
Thank you, dearie.
Goodbye, my dearie. If things haven't been as we could have wished, please forgive us.
It has been absolutely delightful. Delightful. Oh, you mustn't cry.
Come, sister, it is time to go, unless you want to miss the train. I'm going to get into the cab.
I shall walk quickly to the station and see you up there.
Goodbye, everyone. See you again next summer, if we live. Here's $10 for you.
Thank you, mistress. Have a pleasant journey.
God bless you, mistress.
Send us a line to cheer us up. Goodbye, sir.
Where is Constantine? I must see him off. Well, goodbye, everyone. Again, $10 for the 3 of you.
Just one moment. I think I left my cane on the terrace. Is that you? We're off.
I knew we would see each other again. I have come to an irrevocable decision. The die is cast. I'm going on that stage. I'm deserting my father, and I'm abandoning everything. I'm starting my life anew. I'm going as you are to Moscow, and we'll meet there.
Meet me at the Hotel Droshkovsky, at the Noshkovka house on Droshkovsky Street. We'll meet there.
Please, just one more minute.
You're so beautiful. What bliss it is to think I shall see you again so soon. I shall see those beautiful eyes again, the glorious smile, those gentle features with their expression of angelic purity. My darling.
Oh.
Mr. Constantine, where are you? His old uncle is forever asking for Constantine. We can't live without him for a minute.
He dreads being left alone. This is a wild night. We've had this home for 2 days now.
The waves on the lake are enormous.
It is very dark and guarded. You know, I think that will be our knocked down. It's just standing there, making pieces of skeleton, with birds flapping in the wind. I thought I heard a voice weeping with me as I passed it last night.
What an idea.
Masha, come home with me.
I shall spend the night here.
Do come, Masha. The baby is hungry.
Nonsense. Matriona will feed it.
It's a pity to leave him 3 days without a mother.
You are getting too tiresome. You used to talk of other things besides home and the baby. Home and the baby, that's all I hear from you now.
Masha, come home.
You can go home if you want to.
You know what? I think I will. Are you coming home tomorrow, Masha?
Yes, tomorrow. What's that for, Mother?
Mr. Soren asked to send you Constantine.
Let me make the bed.
Well, I'm going. Goodbye, Masha. Goodbye, Mother.
Be off in God's name. No one ever dreamed, Constantine, that you would one day become a real author. The magazines will go over your stories. You've grown handsome too, dear kind Constantine. Be a little nicer to my Masha.
Leave him alone, Mother.
A woman only asks for kind looks. I know from experience.
See, now you upset him. I told you not to bother him.
I'm sorry for you, Masha.
Much I need your pity.
My heart aches for you. I see how things are and understand.
You see what doesn't exist. Hopeless love is found only in novels. It's a trifle. Love must be plucked out the moment it springs up in the heart. My husband has been promised a job in another district, and once we have left this place, I shall forget it all. I shall tear this love of mine out by the roots.
Constantine's mind. That makes me sad.
The great thing, Mother, is to not have him continually in sight. If my Simon could only get his remove in a month or two, I shall forget it all. It is a trifle.
I have 6 mouse to feed now. The flowers at $70.
A hard problem to solve.
It's easy for you to make light of it. You have enough money to scatter to chickens if you wanted to.
You think I'm rich? My friend, after practicing for 30 years, during which I couldn't call my soul my own for one moment of the night or day, I finally succeeded in scraping together $10,000, all of which went, not long ago, in a trip I took abroad. I haven't a penny.
So you didn't go home after all.
I gotta go home when they won't give me a horse.
What I might never see your face again.
What a lot of changes you've made here. You've turned the sitting room into a study.
Yes, Mr. Constantine likes to work in this room, because from it he can step out into the garden and meditate whenever he feels like it.
Where is my sister?
She's gone to the station to meet Trigorin. She'll be back soon.
I must be dangerously ill if you had to send for my sister. What a fine business this is. Here I am dangerously ill and you won't give me any medicine.
What shall I prescribe for you? Chamomile tea? Soda? Quinine?
Oh, don't inflict any of your discussions on me again. Is that bed for me?
Yes, for you, sir.
Thank you.
The moon swims in the sky tonight.
I wish to give Constantine an idea for a story. It shall be called The Man Who Wished, Long Key of Olu. When I was young, I wished to become an author. I failed. I wished to become an orator. I speak abominably with my interminable and all, dragging down every sentence until I break into a sweat. I wished to marry. I didn't. I wished to live in the city. And here I am, ending my days in the country and all.
You wish to become a state councilor, and you are one.
I didn't try for that. It came about of its own accord.
Come, you must admit it's petty to cavil at life at 62 years of age.
Oh, you are pig-headed. Can't you see I want to live?
That is futile. Nature has commanded that every life shall come to an end.
You speak like a man who is satiated with life. Your thirst for it is quenched, and so you are calm and indifferent. But even you dread death.
The fear of death is an animal passion which must be overcome. Only those who believe in a future life and tremble for sins committed can logically fear death. But you, for one thing, don't believe in a future life. And for another, you haven't committed any sins. You've served as a state councilor for 25 years. That's all.
28 years.
Oh, we're keeping Constantine from his work.
It's no matter.
Doctor, of all the places you visited, which one did you like the best?
Genoa.
Why Genoa?
Because there is such a splendid crowd in its streets. When you leave the hotel in the evening and throw yourself into the heart of that throng and move with it without aim or object, swept along this way and that, their life seems to be yours. Their soul flows into you. And you believe at last in a great world spirit, like the one in your play that Nina acted in. By the way, where is Nina now? Is she well?
I think so.
I hear she's led a rather strange life. What happened?
It's a long story, Doctor.
Tell it shortly.
Well, she left home and she joined Trigorin. You know that?
Yes.
She had a child, and that child died. Trigorin soon returned to his former ties, which he had never broken, but out of some weakness of character, always vacillated between the two of them. From what I hear, Nina's domestic life hasn't altogether been a success.
What about her acting?
I think she's made an even worse failure of that. She made her debut at the summer theater in Moscow, and then she took a tour of the country towns. She always attempted these great and challenging parts, but her delivery was monotonous and her gestures were heavy and crude. I mean, she shrieked and died well at times, but those were moments.
Then she really has a talent for acting.
I could never make it out. I saw her, but she wouldn't see me, and her servant wouldn't admit me to any of her rooms. What else can I tell you? Oh, ever since I've come home, she's been writing me again. Such clever, funny, sympathetic letters. I can tell that she's deeply unhappy. Not a line speaks of an aching, breaking nerve. She has one strange fancy, though. She always calls herself the Seagull. The miller in Rusaka calls himself the Crow, and I guess she does the same. She's here now.
What do you mean by here?
In the village, at the inn. She's been here for about 5 days now. I would have gone to see her, but Masha here went and she isn't seeing anybody.
Yes, I saw her. She was walking in the direction away from the village, though. I asked her why she hadn't come to see us. She said she would.
But she won't. Her father and stepmother have disowned her, and they place guards all around the estate to keep her away. My doctor, how easy it is to be a philosopher on paper, and how hard in real life.
She was a beautiful girl. Even the state councilor himself was in love with her for a time.
You old Lovelace, you.
You're coming back from the station.
I can hear my mother's voice now.
We all grow old and wither, my lady, while you alone, with your light dress, your gay spirits, and your grace, keep the secret to eternal youth.
You are still trying to turn my head, you tiresome old man.
How are you, Peter? What? Not still ill, are you? How silly of you. Oh, hello, Miss Mama.
So you recognize me?
Did you marry me?
Long ago.
Are you happy now? So your mother says you've forgotten the past and you're no longer angry with me.
You brought a magazine with your latest story in it.
You're very kind.
Your admirers all send their regards. Everyone in Moscow and St. Petersburg is interested in you. They all ply me with questions about you. They ask me what you look like, how old you are, whether you're fair or dark. For some reason, they think you're no longer young, and no one knows who you are because you always write under an assumed name. You are as great a mystery as the man in the iron mask.
Do you expect to be here long?
No, no. I must go back to Moscow tomorrow. I'm writing another play, and I promised to link to a magazine besides. It is in fact all the same business. So the weather's going to be a rough welcome. The wind is frightful. It goes down in the morning. I should go fishing in the lake and take a look at the garden and the spot where your play was given. Remember the piece quite well, but I'd like to see where the scene was played.
Father, do please give my husband a horse. He ought to go home.
A horse to go home with? You know the horses have just been to the station. I can't send them out again.
But there are other horses. You are impossible.
I shall go on foot, Mom.
On foot in this weather? How did you get?
It is only 6 miles. Goodbye, Mother. I'm sorry to trouble you all, but the baby. Goodbye.
He will get there all right. He's not a major general.
Come, let us begin. Don't let us waste any more time. We'll soon be called to supper.
When the long autumn evenings descend and we have nothing to do to pass time, we play Uno. It is a monotonous game, but once you get the hang of it, it can be pretty fun.
He's clearly read his own story, but hasn't even touched mine.
Won't you play, Constantine?
No, thank you. I think I'm going to take a tour of the rooms.
Are you all ready? I shall begin. Blue 2.
Here it is.
Your turn then?
Don't go so fast.
I am still a daze by my reception in Chekhov. They gave me baskets of flowers, fruit, and this thing here.
There's something worthwhile.
Your turn again.
Play card?
Oh, and I wore the most magnificent dress. You know, I am no fool when it comes to clothes.
Constantine's playing again. Poor boy is sad.
He's been severely criticized in the papers.
They're just trying to draw attention to him.
He can't seem to write a success. He can't somehow strike the right note. His writings have a vagueness about them that verges on delirium. He has never created a single living character.
Red 2.
Peter, are you asleep?
The counselor's taking a nap.
Do you think if I lived in a place like this, on this lake shore, that I would write? Never. I give up my life, I'd overcome my passion, give up my life to the catching of fish. If I caught a perch, or a bass, oh, what a blessing it would be.
You know, I have great faith in Constantine. I know there is something in him. He thinks in images. His stories are vivid and full of color and always make a deep impression on me. It's only a pity that he has no definite object in view. He creates impressions and nothing more, and one cannot go far on impressions alone. Are you glad, madam, to have an author for a son?
Just think. I have never read anything of his. I never have the time.
Skip.
There's something here that belongs to you, sir.
What is it?
You told me to have the Seagull stuff that Mr. Constantine killed some time ago.
Did I? I don't remember.
How dark the night is. I wonder what makes me so restless.
Constantine, shut the window. There's a draft in here.
Oh, who knows?
Bravo! See, wherever this man goes, he is always lucky. Come, now, let's go to supper. Our renowned guests have not eaten. Constantine, won't you join us for supper?
No, thank you. I don't want anything. I'm not hungry.
Come, everyone. Let me tell you all about my reception in Kharkov.
I've talked a great deal about forms, old and new, but I can casually feel myself slipping into the beaten track. The placard cried up from the wall, a pale face and a frame of dusky hair is stupid. I'll start again from the part where the hero's awoken by the rain, but what follows must go. See, Tregorin has it easy. He has a system set up. He writes about the neck of a broken bottle laying glistening on the bank under the shadows of a mill wheel, and there you have a moonlit night in front of you, but I speak of the sounds of piano melting into the still and scented air, and the result's abominable. I've come to realize that good literature isn't a question about forms, old and new, but of ideas that must flow freely from the author's heart without any questioning about forms whatsoever. Who's there? What was that? I can see someone in the garden, but I can't make out who it is. Oh, Nina, it's you. All day my heart has been aching. I knew you would come back to me. We can't cry. We mustn't cry.
It is so quiet in here. There's someone here.
No one's here.
No, I know someone will come in. Lock the door.
No one will come in.
I know your mother is here. Lock the door.
There's no lock on this one. I'm putting a chair against it. Don't be scared. No one will come in.
Let me look at you. It's so quiet and warm in here. This used to be a sitting room. Have we changed much?
Yes, you've grown thinner and paler since the last time I've seen you. It's so strange to see you. Why didn't you come to see me? Why didn't you let me see you? I know you've been here almost a week. I've stood several times each day under your window like a beggar.
I was afraid you might hate me. Every night, I dream that you look at me and don't recognize me. I've been wandering about the shores of this lake ever since I came back. I've come by your house several times, and I've just never had the courage to come inside. Let us sit down. Yes, let us sit down, and let us talk our hearts out. Tomorrow morning early, I must depart for Elst by train in a third-class carriage with a whole bunch of peasants. And then in Elst, all the educated tradespeople will pursue me with compliments. It's a rough life.
Why are you going to Elst?
I've accepted an engagement there for the winter. It's time for me to go.
Nina, I've cursed you, hated you, torn up your photograph, but I've known every minute of my life that my heart and soul were yours forever. To stop from loving you, it's beyond my power. Ever since I lost you and I began to write, I feel like I've lived in this world for 90 years. Everywhere I go, I see that face, and I kiss the ground you walk on, and that smile that has lit up the best years of my life.
Why does he talk about me like this?
I'm quite alone, unwarmed by any attachment. I'm as dark and cold as if I were living in a cave. Everything I write is dry, gloomy, and harsh. Please stay here, or else let me go with you. What are you doing, Nina?
Hush. My car's at the gate. Do not come to see me out, and I'll find a way on my own. Let me have some water.
Where are you going?
To the village. Is your mother here?
Yes, my uncle fell ill on Thursday and we called for you to come.
Why do you say that you have kissed the ground I walk on? You should kill me, rather. I'm so tired. If only I could rest. Yes, rest. I am a seagull, and yet, no. No, I'm not a seagull, I'm an actress. Oh. She brought him back with her. Oh, no matter. He never believed in the theater. He used to laugh at my dreams, so that little by little I became downhearted and ceased to believe in it too. Then came all the cares of love and the continual anxiety about my little one, and soon I became spiritless and played my parts without any meaning. I never knew what to do with my hands. I couldn't walk properly, and I had no control over my voice. You have no idea the state of mind of somebody who knows, as he goes through a play, how terribly badly he is acting. I am a seagull, and no, that's not what I meant to say. It's an idea for a short story. What was I saying? Oh yes, the stage. I've changed now. I am a real actress. I act with joy, with exultation. I am intoxicated by it, and I feel that I am superb. I have been walking and thinking ever since I came here, Constantine, and I feel the strength of my spirit grow within me every day. I know now, and I understand at last, that it is not the honor or glory in which I have dreamt of that is important. It's the strength to endure. One must know how to bear one's cross, and one must have faith. I believe, and so I don't suffer as much. When I think of my calling, I don't fear life.
You found your way and you know where you're going, but I'm still groping at this chaos of phantoms and confusion, not knowing who or what end I'm serving at all.
Shh. I must go. When I become a famous actress, you must promise to come and see me. Will you promise to come? Now, it's getting late. I can hardly stand. I'm fainting and...
Say, I'll make you some supper.
No. And don't come to see me out. I can find a way on my own. So she brought him back with her. What difference can that make to me now? Don't tell Trigorin anything when you see him. I love him. I love him more than I used to. I love him into despair, and I love him passionately. But that's an idea for a short story. Do you remember, Constantine, how simple the old times were? What a bright, pure, gentle life we all led. How a feeling
chair by the door. This is like an obstacle course.
Come, put the claret and the beer on the table that way. You can drink while we play, and bring the tea at once.
Here's the Seagull I was telling you about. You told me to have it done.
Huh. I don't remember a thing about it. Not a thing.
What was that?
Nothing at all. Probably a bottle of medicine has exploded. Don't worry. It's as I thought. A flask of ether has blown up. Spellbound once more I stand before thee.
That sound reminded me of everything is black before my eyes.
There was an article from America in this magazine about 2 months ago I wanted to ask you about, among other things. I'm very interested in this question. We must take Madame Arcania away from here. What I wanted to say was that constant